Hey, hello again. So today I went to a place called Mio Pastalogy, or Pastalogy, however you say it. And it's, if you're familiar with Auntie's Ramen, it's in the old building where it used to be off of McCully and I believe Young Street. So they took over that spot and they're specializing in homemade pastas, and some of them have like an Asian twist to it. So I wanted to try something new other than the regular pastas. They've got like bolognese and shrimp pesto stuff, you know, like typical pastas. I wanted to try one of their unique items on their menu, and it's pretty much kind of what I ate the other day, or I'm sorry, the other couple of weeks ago, the Mentaiko, which is Pollock roll, and that's the Asian influence in that. So when you order your pasta, it comes in this little bowl here, and you can choose your pasta. I got just regular spaghetti. You can get fettuccine, excuse me, rigatoni, all that type of pasta. And I guess they put your sauce in a separate bowl here, and then they put the noodles on the bottom. So in this one, you've got the noodles and a poached egg. So I'm gonna mix all my stuff together. When you walk in, it's pretty small because they cordoned off the dining area, because that place was pretty huge, if I remember. So it's got seaweed and green onions and all kind of other garnish, and you're supposed to mix it up. And I guess the egg also kind of gets coated around the pasta here. And the pasta did kind of clump up a bit because I did drive home and I don't live near there, so, but it still feels hot. So let's give it a try. On top of the lid, it says homemade fresh pasta made with no artificial ingredients. There's tricks about how to keep pasta from sticking. Coating with some olive oil is an effective measure to prevent sticking. When you're ready to eat the noodles, make sure to reheat them with the sauce. Interesting. Alright, well, I'm just going to eat it the way it is because it's still warm. And we'll take a bite out of this. It's a little smaller than I expected. Pretty good. If you don't know what Mentaiko is and didn't watch the other video I made at my musubi, it's pretty much seasoned pollock roe, which is a fish, so fish roe. Sometimes it's spicy. This one, I don't taste any spice. It's just got a really salty umami taste, almost way too salty. You should mix it better. But the noodles are really good. You can tell they're homemade. They have a nice texture to them. Definitely, you know, you can tell it's not dry pasta from the box. The egg coating it is a nice mouthfeel. Yum. So if you go in, they also sell pre-made salads, and they have pre-made sauces you can take home to heat up and make pasta with, and also their homemade pastas are also for sale with no seasoning on it. So you got to take it home and cook it. They also have a bread section, so I got the salt and butter. They have all kinds of different stuff like focaccia and such, but I just asked her which one was the most simplest bread, and she said it was the salt and butter. So she said it's baked with the butter inside, but when it bakes it just melts, so that sounded good to me. So let's try it out with the pasta. It's very soft, and it pretty much looks like a typical bread, and it's I guess where they put the butter in it, it's hollow. Nice, soft, and buttery. Very buttery. I like that. You can tell it's freshly made. Yummy. I don't know if the Polak roux that they get is pre-seasoned or if they season it, but it's quite salty for my taste. And it's pretty just salty. It's not spicy. Like sometimes Polak roux comes spicy. There's no spice. And it has a good umami flavor. Sort of like how there's Japanese fusion pasta such as the uni pasta. Something like that. I think it would be much better if, you know, the salt was cut down on here because it's very, very salty. But the bread helps cut it. Alright, so I pretty much finished this. It was really quick, but we'll get into that later. So we'll go over the pros. I really appreciate the craft of making your own pasta. The pasta tasted pretty good. The spaghetti, for spaghetti, it didn't really look like your typical spaghetti, the gauge of it. Maybe a thin spaghetti, but it looked more like ramen noodle type, the shape. But the taste was there, and it did taste like pasta more than, you know, of course it didn't taste like ramen. I love the bread. The bread is delicious. I should have got more of that. It was nice and soft. I like the buttery, creamy taste to it. You definitely can tell they put that piece of butter in the middle because it melted throughout, and it's nice and fluffy and fresh tasting. Very good bread. The service was very nice. The two ladies are very pleasant and happy and cheerful. There's tons of parking there, and the food was made pretty fast. Now for the cons, sorry to say this, but it's pretty, just gonna be honest, very salty. I think it's so salty, it was almost inedible. So I don't know if there are other items. I should have chose something else. But the Mentaiko is super salty. There was no kick to it, no chili. It's just salt. It's very one-dimensional in terms of taste. And then the furikake, or the, I don't know what you would call it, the shredded seaweed, just clumped together in one big clump. So it didn't really spread throughout because the egg kind of made everything all wet, and it just made this one lump of seaweed, so kind of hard to eat with that. The portion is very small. The noodles went up to here only. So you have this big bowl, and then the separate container of sauce is here, but that container wasn't even, you know, this was not even full. So in terms of value, you don't really get much food, and I'm still pretty much hungry, but I'm pretty smart, and I took some steaks out to defrost, so I'll be having more food later on because that was not satisfying at all. And like I mentioned in my other videos, I'm a small person in terms of height, and I don't eat very much, and I get full pretty quick, but I'm not full at all. That was like smaller than a package of ramen, I would think. Yeah, I don't know if I'd come back for this particular pasta. Maybe I'd come back to try maybe the shrimp pesto or something, or the bolognese. There's eggplant bolognese. I don't understand the hype. I'm looking at Yelp right now, and everybody's giving it either 4 to 5 stars, and they're raving about it. But there are a couple of 2 stars and 1 stars that say the same thing that I'm saying. Not so much salty, but they didn't really like the taste of the sauce, and the portion is super tiny. But I mean, if you're curious and you want to make your own pasta, I think it's pretty cool that they make their own stuff by scratch, and you can customize your pasta order by picking what kind of pasta you want and what kind of sauce you want with it, and the different types of breads and salads. So, you know, if you're still interested, check them out. So we'll go over the price. The Mentaiko pasta was $11, and that's why I'm kind of upset, because that's very expensive for pasta, and it's like super small. The salt and butter bread was $1.25. So that's a subtotal of $12.25 without tip and without tax. So if you're interested, that's Mio Pastalogy, located off of McCully and Young Street. Go check them out, support a local business if you are interested in customizing your own pasta. And until next time, I'll see you on another food adventure. If you like this review and video, press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more food reviews around the island of Oahu. And check out my other videos in case you're wondering or curious about other places to eat on the island. See you next time. Peace out.